Good evening, everybody. Julie here. Just wanted to take a moment and check in. You know, just a thought I was having. We don't know how lucky we are here. And I hear a lot of people downing these United States and saying how awful it is to be in the United States and they want to leave the United States, and that's your right to do if you want to. But I want you to know something. You are so lucky. Every one of us is so lucky to be in this country. Now, that being said, I, illegal immigration, I'm against. Legal immigration, I am all for, because we need immigrants. Immigrants do the work because our younger generation, not all of them, but people don't want to work anymore. And we can't continue. I guess everybody's trying to be a social media star, or they just don't want to work. They want to do, they just don't want to work. That's why our system is failing, and why we need to make changes to Medicare and the way that we do things, because too many people that are able-bodied are not working. That's some of the changes. We need to make a pathway where citizenship is easier to get. It shouldn't take them 10 or 20 years to become a citizen. That being said, if you're in this state, then you need to be working on getting your citizen, not waiting 20 years from now and being worried about being taken away because you didn't take the time to do what you needed to do. It's very important to have an immigrant. So we are a nation built on immigrants. But there's a legal way to do it. And it's not fair for everybody else to skip the line. I know people that are here that come from other countries, and they're ticked. They did everything the right way. They did what they, had to do, become legal citizens. And it's not fair for people to be put ahead of them, because they're trying to work their way into becoming one, and it backlogs the system where it takes them even longer. And people need to remember, they're illegal. Illegal means against the law. And instead of fighting about them being illegal immigrants, we need to say, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to do this to speed up the process where everybody that is not a criminal, when they come here illegally, they become a criminal, but let them come and apply to come here and hire. If we're going to spend money, if we can keep the border where there's not a gazillion people, maybe we can spend money to help the process go faster. We've got to make the process go faster. It's not fair to these people to leave them in limbo. So I am for legal immigration, and I may get some hate for that, but it is what it is. And I might get some hate from both sides, because we have to have immigrants. They do the jobs that nobody else is going to do, and we need jobs. And if you are a young person, you can get out there and you can make money, because we need people. We need people in the positions that are falling. We don't have enough carpenters. We don't have enough plumbers. We don't have enough construction workers. We need things like that. Because if you don't want to spend $1 million on a house, we need the people to work on the house. So, HVAC guys and everything, guys, we need people to work like that. And they can go to trade schools, come out a lot cheaper than what they would go into a regular college. So we need to be thinking on what we're doing, because we're being fed all these lines by all these rich politicians, why do we care so much about what these actors and entertainers think? Why do we care so much about that? Why is that so important to us? Oh, well, George Clooney said this. George Clooney's great. We have to believe every word he says. Rosie O'Donnell, we have to, man, she's against something, and then we have to be against it too. Stop letting these people become idols in your life. Do you think that George Clooney cares about you or I? No, he cares about himself. Those most of those actors and actresses, they could care less about us. There are a few who do, just like every person in Congress. None of them really care about us. It's politics up there now. None of it. We really need to redo the way we're doing for the system, and it needs to be term limits on Congress. I'm sorry, but they've been there 30, 40, 50 years. Come on. Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters and all of them should be enjoying their retirement right now. You know why they're not? Because they can't do all their insider trading and all of that. How do you come and make $170,000 a year and be worth, what, 50, 60 million? What the Pelosi's are worth? Probably more than that. How did all these people come into office with hardly anything and leave out multimillionaires? How? Because they're crooked. And I totally agree with some things that are going on, and I totally don't agree with some things. Like I said, we need immigration. We need it to be done legally the right way. Let's get the ones that are bad out and help the ones who are just hard workers trying to get by. Let's help them find a pathway to citizenship. That's what we should be doing right now. Instead of all the arguing, fighting, gaslighting, everything else, that's what we need to do. And we should all just be thankful. You know, I don't understand why all these groups, we look like a third world country right now in some of our big cities. Why? Why all the rioting? Why? Because they're being paid to do it. There was one in one of the videos and he said, oh yeah, I got paid to do it. They paid me $150 to come out here and protest. Really? We need to find out who's causing all of this, because people are getting hurt. People are getting hurt. You know, everybody cries, oh, let's protect these people. They need due process. Well, they're not a citizen of this country. They don't get due process. Okay? They came here illegally. They need to get out. Now, the ones that are here that are working hard, if they're not a criminal, if they haven't done anything wrong, don't have any record, I'm okay with them being here. But everybody's quick to talk about all these people. And you know what? It makes me sad. Because I saw them taking all these people from this farm. And they were children. And I can guarantee you they were probably trafficked. Working there for pennies. Modern day slavery. Human trafficking. Out there working their butts off for nothing. Paying off their debt for coming to this country, probably. But people don't think about that. Nor do they think about the list of people that have lost their lives. Like Laken Riley, I think is her name. And there's a whole bunch more. The mother of 5 children, I want to say her name was Rachel or something like that. Can't remember. She had 5 children. She was killed by illegal immigrant. Guys, there's no sense in it. And don't get me started on all the other kinds of things. The protests of all the other kinds of protests. You know what? Our kids go to college to learn, not to stand out there and protest, not to be blocked by going in classes. And I'm sorry, the things that they're fighting for, would they be able to do that in that country? No. And we defend all these, who was it? Whoopi Goldberg said that women are better off in Iran. Are you kidding me? You have to keep your head covered. Women don't have any rights. You want to tell me that people are better off in Iran? Give me a break. I feel The View should be canceled, but that's just my opinion. They're a bunch of, I don't know, bunch of people who get by on making half the country hate them by their rude and obnoxious comments. But that's for another story. Yes, I'm really going off this time. I just want to, we just, in other countries, there's countries, if you steal, they'll cut off your hand. Oh, but we got it so bad, they go to jail and get 3 square meals a day. Some of them have access to all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't think they would have. It's crazy. And now we're more worried about defending criminals than we are for helping victims. And that's sad. That's just so sad. And I think about too, and again, my whole start on this was hearing people say they'd rather be in other countries. Let me tell you something. My church did a mission trip. Sorry, not a mission group. Our missions team went to Africa. These people that we go to help, they have no running water. They don't have a toilet in their bathroom to use. They probably don't even have a shower. They have to go down to a mud puddle and bathe and wash off. Well, our team went there to help Water for Nations, which drills wells for people, for communities there. And they hit water. They hit water. How amazing is that for these people that had to try to find a water hole with water in it, carry a pot over their head or on their shoulders, or however they did to get their water to get it back to their village. The women had to do that. The women and girls had to go get water every day. And it wasn't even clean water half the time. It was dirty water. But you and I, all we have to do is go to our refrigerator and push the little button over there and put our glass under it, and out pops ice and out pops water. So many ungrateful people don't even realize what we have. We are so lucky and blessed. You know what? I work. I've worked since the day I turned 18. I've worked hard. I'm in my 50s. Been working a long time. Who likes to work? I wish I didn't have to work. I wish I was wealthy and didn't have to work. But you know what? I have a roof over my head. I have a vehicle to drive. I have a job. You know what that means? That means I am truly blessed beyond measure. But you know what? Any of that could be taken away in a minute. Each one of us are one day away, or not one day, one catastrophe away from being homeless, or jobless, or, you never know when something's going to happen. You could have a health crisis. When I had my knee surgery in November, I had to take money out of my 401k because I hadn't met my out-of-pocket deductible, and I didn't have thousands of dollars. So to take away from my future money. So, but I'm still so thankful and blessed. I have food in my refrigerator and freezer. I have a TV. I can watch TV. I can make videos. I can get on the internet. I can do all these things. And I'm so grateful to God for blessing me that way. And for giving me what I need. Not everything I want. I'm definitely not rich. I'm far from that. I live paycheck to paycheck. But I make it. Even though my health insurance costs more than my car payment, but that's okay. It is what it is. Am I worried about some of the things that are going to happen in this country? Oh, yeah. But we are still nowhere being a bad country. We are so lucky compared to so many people. So many other countries, women have no rights at all. No rights at all. And the only other thing I want to harp on is for a minute is we have to let children be children. Children have no business knowing adult things, folks. Until they are 18 years of age, they shouldn't have access to certain things. And I'm going to say this to you because it's so easy to say, oh, this is the way they feel, let's let them do this. Let me tell you this. You, Mr. Fancy Pants out there, you're all about everybody doing whatever they want to. If your 6-year-old says, Dad, Mom, I feel I'm ready to drive your Lamborghini, and you should support me in this because that's what I want to do. I want to go out there right now and drive your Lamborghini. Now, what parent is going to say yes to that? Oh, my dear child, you feel like you can do it and you feel like you're ready for it and that's what you want. Come on, let's let you, I'm going to give you, here's the keys. Go drive that Lamborghini. Not to mention it's against the law. They don't have a license. My thing is that everybody has the right to be what they want to be once they're of age. And I have no problem doing whatever you want to when you're of age. But until you reach the point of 18, those decisions aren't yours to make. And for the people who have made bad decisions because they've been told that that's the thing to be and the way to be nowadays, and the horror stories of the people who have made the wrong decision because they were pushed into something they didn't really want to do in the first place, that is sad and unfortunate. So I've harped on enough. Oh, while I'm on that subject, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to get hate for this video as it is. Guys, we just have to, there's a lot of smoke screens right now, and I feel that the people in DC are trying to make us hate one another. They're trying to turn us all against one another, and they're trying to destroy our country. Not all of them. There's a few good people up there, but we just have to pay attention, because while we're arguing over some of these things that are going on, like the immigration, like this, that, and the other, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on that we know nothing about. Don't be fooled, don't be deceived, and don't listen to the mainstream media because they're going to lie. Use independent. There's all kinds of YouTuber news channels out there. And just investigate for yourself. But a lot of I took a social psychology class. Or I took I have a little certificate for it. It was like 2-year class in classes altogether to get, it was from a career institute. It's not from a big college, but for a career institute to get my certificate in social psychology. And we studied. We have something called the bystander effect. Say you just witnessed something horrible happen. Maybe a bad accident. You just heard it, and you're gonna grab your phone and you're gonna be videoing we're videoing the whole thing. You're like, I'm not gonna call 911 because I'm sure one of the other 500 people out here already called 911. And it's called the bystander effect. It's where these people think that, oh, I don't have to help, I don't have to do anything because one of these other people have it. It's a whole thing. There's people that lost their lives. There's studies on it. Read up the bystander effect, because everybody's too busy thinking somebody else has helped the situation. So we have to be mindful about things like that. One of the other things we studied is how the TV is made to persuade us one way or another. They're showing us all these beautiful pictures of wonderful cereal for our kids to eat, trying to get us to lure us into doing it. TV is made to lure us into thinking things. It's just the way it is. The advertisements, the TV programming, everything we make are made to persuade us into one thing or another. So I just want y'all to remember that. We have to learn to think for ourselves. We have to learn to study. And we have to learn to be forgiving. and take the time to listen to each other, because you know what? We all have an opinion. My opinion is going to be different than your opinion, and your opinion is going to be different from somebody else's opinion. But instead of hating on each other, we should be loving on each other. Listen to each other. We could accomplish a lot if we'd stop all fighting. Stop all the fighting and yelling at each other over who's right and who's wrong, and really listen to each other. It's not fair for somebody to push all their beliefs on somebody else. We're different. Doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong. It means that we're different. But we have to do things fairly. And I am going to do it. I'm going to do it. I have a problem with kids losing out on scholarships and stuff because there's people that are saying they're women, playing in sports, and beating out biological females. And the thing that makes me angry about this is how many years have we fought to get women's rights? And we're going to let men invade our spaces. And the one thing that I can't get over, it's funny because I watched some of the stories and these girls' stories, and they said, we have to share a locker room. And I was watching a story of one of the college swim teams, and they said, yeah, we were upset about it. We didn't want to share a locker room with them, but they told us we had to get over us, and if we said anything, then they sent us to another training. They had to feel uncomfortable with a fully intact male in that locker with them. Now you're like, oh, whatever. They need to be what that's what people say. No, whatever. He says he's a girl now. It doesn't matter that he has the male parts. All these girls should be uncomfortable. All these girls should be uncomfortable because they have an intact male and naked in their locker room. What if one of those girls has been assaulted or molested or something like that? What if she was attacked by a male? Then she's supposed to go in that locker room with a male and relive that every time. How is that fair? That's what I'm talking about, folks. That's the things that aren't getting said. And there's this one, and I want to say it's in Canada, where this 40-year-old man is competing with kids. Come on. Make it make sense, y'all. The whole thing that ticked me off about this sports thing is when they said that they had to share a locker room with a male naked. Just like the ladies who have complained about the locker rooms at gyms. It's not fair. We shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to. Some women are modest, and they don't want that. They don't want a man, whether he says he's a woman or not, to be in there. And it's just not fair, y'all. And that's it. I'm going to shut up because I know I'm really going to get a lot of hate for this. I know how that goes when you try to make sense about something that is just so overwhelming for some people. And listen, it's a real easy thing to fix. Make a new category in sports for that. We make a different bathroom, it's where everybody can be happy. Because let me tell you, we have a lot of weirdos out there, like Lily Tino and Jeffrey Marsh and all them that are parading around and going into women's restrooms because they're men and they don't care about women's rights. I can guarantee you neither one of them fit the bill for what they're trying to do. They're being perverts. That's my rant, folks. That's it. That's all. I'm going to shut my mouth. I want to thank you for watching. Feel free to comment, even if it's with hate. Listen, I've gotten it a few times on different things, but I just wanted to say that you are so blessed, and you know what? You can do anything you set your mind to if you just try. Don't quit on life. Don't quit on yourself. Keep going. You can do it. You can achieve things. And you can live out your dreams. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.